thank you for saying that the people are on the side of Kalonzo Musyoka. Let me tell you, there is no mistake you are going to commit. It's from now, people are already siding with man Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Let me tell you, wale wenye mko katika ndani ya serikali, you have committed a lot of mistakes. One, led by your, maybe the big boy over there, corruption, abduction, killing Gen Zs, passing unpopular bills in the disguise ati yo wananchi wamekubali. University funding model is a total sham. Health education duale na kroni zake wanaenda wanaekelea fake hospitals, zingine zimawe, zingine wanachukua pesa ya SHA inaenda huko wanakula. Today wale wengine pesa imepatikana kwa marooms wamefungia. Hata huwezi ingia huko ni pesa. We are telling you those kind of corruption. Na Ruto mwenyewe amefinyilia wa Kenya mpaka maisha imekuwa ngumu, mpaka men in the house they can't even erect, man. Tunasema hivi, hakuna mistake mna make. So far so good, mnaenda home. Period. Wananchi wameshasema ni Kalonzo and there is nothing that you can do. Tunangoje hiyo siku tu. Ujue watu wamekasirika. Tunasema ni one time.
In politics, you can never say never, and at all times, anything, anywhere is possible. I say this because a few days ago, I saw Ndindi, Nyoro and Kalonzo Musyoka attending an economic forum, as you can see in this image. And shortly after, he began seeing articles and media outputs hinting at a Kalonzo Musyoka Ndindi Nyoro ticket. Now, in line with that, in this video I want us to look into the viability of a Kalonzo Musyoka and Ndindi Nyoro ticket. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Now, the first advantage of Kalonzo picking Ndindi Nyoro as his running mate is financial firepower. Ndindi Nyoro, unknown to many, is actually a billionaire. And as young as he is, he has more money than Kalonzo Musyoka and all the governors of Ukambani combined. So that's a big advantage right there, especially since last time I saw Kalonzo Musyoka in a presidential campaign, he was holding a pay bill sababu ya kukosa pesa. In fact, here's the image. So if Kalonzo wants to stay afloat, pick the money man. People who have money know people who have money. If Ndindi Nyoro is the one to call a fundraiser for Kalonzo Musyoka, he will raise billions. If George Natembeyo is the one to call a fundraiser for Kalonzo Musyoka, I don't think he'll leave that room with even 100 million shillings. Again, people with money know people with money. So if Kalonzo wants to get his money right in 2027 asitoe jasho sana, he knows who to pick. Second advantage for Kalonzo picking Ndindi Nyoro as his deputy is that with Ndindi by his side, Kalonzo will not have to seek services of economic brokers like David Ndindi, because Ndindi Nyoro in and of himself is an economic guru. He served as the chairman of the budget committee. He also recently graduated with a master's in economics from the University of Nairobi. Now, you do the math, that's an important brain to have in one's kitchen cabinet. I would even dare say that in a deputy presidential debate between Ndindi Nyoro and Professor Kithure Kindiki, Ndindi Nyoro would carry the day. Because Kindiki is a lawman. He understands legal jargon. Ndindi Nyoro is an economist, just like Moi Kibaki. He understands numbers. Of those two things, which do you think Kenyans are more interested in listening to? Kenyans want to hear numbers, because that is tangible. Hearing about the law is useless. We have come to learn that in this country, the law is useless. Things are passed without public participation. And even the laws that exist are ignored. It is laws for thee, but not for me. That is how the rich and mighty move about in this country. So Kenyans don't have any interest with the law anymore. They want to hear numbers. How are we going to raise this money to do this thing? This debt that we have, how are we offsetting it in the next 20, 30 years? What is your economic plan to sustain our police force, our military force, jeshi, and so on and so forth? Anybody who can answer economic questions today is more valuable to Kenyans than some professor who knows all the clauses in the constitution. And even worse, if Kasongo decides to get rid of Professor Kindiki, you know, Kindiki and Ndindi Nyoro, it is a contest worth watching, but I suspect Ndindi will carry the day. Now, if they remove Kindiki, walete sijui nani kutoka huko ODM, sijui Wanga, sijui Raymond Omolo, sijui nani, that person anaenda kuoshwa mbaya sana by Ndindi Nyoro. There is nobody in ODM today who can go toe to toe with Ndindi Nyoro in a deputy presidential debate other than perhaps Babu Owino, perhaps Otiende Omolo. That is it. James Orengo, miaka imeenda, he's not a lucrative pick. Anyang' Nyong'o, same thing, age has caught up with him, he's not a lucrative pick. So they only have those two. Wajaribu kuleta anybody else, watazungushwa laps pale. It will be very embarrassing. It will be like what Gachagua did to Martha Karua. Now, the third advantage for Kalonzo having Ndindi Nyoro as a deputy is access to classified information. You see, by Ndindi Nyoro having served in the budget committee, he knows all of Kasongo's evil schemes, no matter how well they try to hide it from him. Ndindi will somehow always be in the know. He has friends in Treasury, he has friends in Statehouse. In the financial corridor, he has built very good networks. Nothing can escape his eyesight. He's like Heimdall. In fact, if you do the math, Ndindi Nyoro was the first person to expose Ruto's highway robbery of Safaricom because he's selling shares to Vodacom by undervaluing those shares, and he's likely on the other side of the transaction. Just listening to this expose.
The government is underselling Safaricom, and it is to the detriment of all Kenyans. The bigger concern that I have, and we must have as Kenyans, is the fact that the government of Kenya is proposing to sell Safaricom PLC, the 15% stake, at 34 shillings. Kenyans need to know that Safaricom shares were trading at an average of 45 shillings in 2021, valuing Safaricom PLC at 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings in 2021. And of course, that is before Safaricom even invested in Ethiopia, an investment that is actually becoming a very good decision for Safaricom. And what I just want to say is that the people who are on the other side of the table in this negotiation of the sale, and especially the people from the National Treasury, they are either self-interested, incompetent, or both. Because there is no way you can sell a stake of a company as a block with no premium.
I mean, to the cartels, good luck stealing from government when Ndindi Nyoro is the deputy president of Kenya. A guy who lives, breathes, and eats numbers. Kitawaramba mbaya sana. Now, the fourth advantage that Kalonzo would get by picking Ndindi Nyoro as his deputy is the complete support of Mlima Kenya. You see, there's a difference. Right now, Kalonzo has the support of Mlima Kenya. I don't believe he has the complete support of Mlima Kenya. For him to get that complete support, he needs to pick a deputy from the region. That's number one. On top of that, this deputy must be someone who gives the region longevity in leadership. Not what ODM is doing. Raila passes, they pick an even older fellow to lead ODM for the next 4, 5, 3 years maybe. So, based on that, there's no way we are going to work with JB Muturi. JB Muturi himself is also a senior citizen kidogo. Martha Karua, same thing. Ndindi Nyoro is somebody, if Kalonzo wins and he gets 2 terms, Ndindi Nyoro can be there for 10 years serving Kalonzo faithfully, and then he can also push his 10 years in power. That is the advantage of working with youth. So long story short, I don't see Justin Muturi or Martha Karua courting the same excitement in Mlima the same way that Ndindi Nyoro can. The fact that he's young, competent, and result-driven makes him even more lucrative than any other name you can put out there. It's just how the succession matrix is at the moment.
Na ndio maana mimi mnasikia nikisema, whatever it takes, kama mimi mbunge wa Kiharu, I'll do it to make sure there is no fees increment in January for day school learners in the entire of Kenya. Na mimi nataka niulize my colleagues, vile mnajua sasa bunge hakuna opposition in the real definition of it, because wale walichaguliwa upande wa serikali wa opposition haijulikani ni nani na ni nani, kwa sababu mnajua sasa kuna mipango ingine iliendelea. And I have said this, mimi kama mbunge wa Kiharu, even if I'll be the only solitary voice in Kenya to stand for education and the right thing, I'll do it and pay the price. So the reason why I am pitting my brother, the CS of National Treasury, is that he's just a spokesman for this deal. He was actually not in the negotiations. And if you want to challenge me, I am ready, because I know. Wacha nimaliza na kitu ya mwisho.
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda, so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono.
Madam na kudai, umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit, unawacha nikismile. Ama niko high, jua lies, nice.
Kono moja mbele, gine yende rembe. Pile up,